So for the last couple of months, I've been collecting around 16 to sometimes 18 eggs a day. And since we sell a lot of those eggs, we're required to wash those. So I've been washing, 16 to 18 eggs every single day, or a lot more every couple of days. So I've seen quite a few people build their own kind of DIY egg washer. And all that it really comprises of is something to agitate the water to help knock off like dirt and debris and stuff like that. So I've looked online at trying to buy something, but it's just not worth it. They're really expensive. So I put together some numbers and based on some designs I've seen online. So for 35 bucks, I'm going to use some air compressor line, a shut-off valve, and a 5-gallon bucket and see if we can't build something. So these are the materials that I've got. My bucket, some air compressor line. I'm going to use the rubber line because I think that rubber line will work best. And then something to regulate the air pressure. I've tinkered with using the built-in regulator on an air compressor, and you just can't seem to dial the pressure back enough to not sling eggs everywhere. So we're going to try it with this instead. I also nearly forgot you're going to need a few zip ties. All right, so the first thing I'm going to try and do is actually get some of this coiled down in here. And then once I get it coiled as far as I need, I'm going to start zip tying it to get it to lay flat. The idea is to set this in the bottom, set your basket of eggs in on top of it while this is full of hot water, and then connect the other end to your air compressor. So I got a lot more hose here than I really need for something like this, but it was inexpensive, so we'll have extra hose. All right, so it took me a little bit to figure out how exactly to get this laid out, but the idea is just creating a coil out of your wire here. That way you can drop it into your bucket. So I've got to get all of these tag ends cut off, and then we'll stick it in here and hook it to a compressor, make sure that it's going to hold air like it's supposed to, and then we'll start drilling holes in this hose. I'm really overdue on this because over the course of this summer, I'll be nearly doubling the amount of eggs that we're collecting each day. In fact, I may actually fully double, depending on how well they lay. And with that, I can't be spending, an hour a day. Maybe that's exaggerating a little bit, but I can't be spending a ton of time every day washing eggs. I just don't have it. So we're going to see if this helps with that. All right. I went ahead and got the compressor charged up, spare you guys that extra noise, and plugged it in, make sure that this holds air like it's supposed to, and it does. So the first thing I'm going to actually do is take the fitting off, stick this in between, like so, and then get it plugged back in, make sure I don't have any leaks around this, and as long as we're good with that, then what I'll do next is actually start drilling holes in our hose, and then we'll test it. Here's our final assembly here. I would recommend using some Teflon tape just to make sure you get a good airtight seal on this valve. So last steps, I'm going to go grab a drill bit. I'm going to probably grab one of the smallest ones I've got, and then we'll start putting holes in this. Since this hose is a 1/4 inch hose, I'm going to go ahead and run with an 1/8 inch bit, and just to note, when you're putting your holes in these, you definitely don't want to go all the way through the bottom. Probably not the end of the world, but you want your bubbles to stay on top, and putting too many holes in it may create too much disturbance. But again, this is a little bit of a trial and error even for myself, and again, I'm just copying some stuff I've seen some other people do. All right, so this is the general idea. You can see we got our holes here. All right, you will need to kind of tinker with the shutoff valve just to get the proper airflow so that you're getting good agitation, but your eggs aren't flying all over the bucket. I've done a little bit of testing that I didn't record, trying to use like like a bed, like a air pump, you know, for like an inflatable mattress or something. And there wasn't really a good way to control that airflow, and eggs were just going crazy. So this seems to be working so far. So I'm gonna go actually adjust it up just a little bit and take a look, and then I'll have some eggs here in a little bit to test with. Finally at a point where I can do a little bit of testing on actual eggs with this. So I've got about 4 or 5 baskets worth of eggs to wash today. I didn't get back to it yesterday, unfortunately. But we're gonna go ahead and drop this in. I've got a bucket of hot water. Just tap hot water, not scalding hot. And the idea here is that you just wanna either loosen or knock off the dirt. I'll still have to take it inside and rinse it, but unfortunately I don't have a sink out here. I'd love to get a sink with some hot water in it out here in the garage. But for now, we're going to do this. I'm going to wash all 3 buckets that I've got currently, or baskets of eggs rather, and then take those upstairs and rinse them. I'm going to drop my eggs in here and then go and adjust the compressor. And forgive the noise in advance. It is going to kick on because I'm just using my little pancake compressor. And I'll probably do this for a minute or 2 on each basket and then take it in and finish cleaning them. Well, we went through and washed about 6 dozen eggs, and it seemed to do pretty good, but I'll withhold, you know, real judgment after I've used it for a little while, see about, you know, convenience of washing, you know, having to bring hot water down and washing it with this versus just washing it straight in the sink. So I'm sure we'll have a follow-up on that, but there's a lot of nasty that came off down in the bucket that's not in my sink. So, and I will say it seemed like it was a lot easier to wash those eggs, or at least rinse them, after they've been in here for about 2 minutes. So that's pretty much that. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.